Miss Carter, can you hear me? Katie's blood type doesn't match either yours or your late husband's. Genetically, that's impossible.
I stared at the doctor and watched his lips move, but the meaning of the words was slow to reach me. We had come to this private clinic for a routine extended checkup before Katie's 20th birthday. I just wanted to make sure my daughter was healthy, that we knew everything about her body. And instead I just learned that my whole world was a house of cards that had collapsed from the slightest draft. There has to be a mistake, I rasped. I gave birth to her myself. June 2nd, at St. Mary's Hospital downtown. I remember every second of that pain.
There can't be a mistake, we double-checked, the doctor replied gently. Most likely there was an accidental swap. Unfortunately, in those years it did happen sometimes.
I walked out of his office unsteadily. Katie was sitting on a leather couch in the hallway, one leg crossed over the other, lazily scrolling through her phone. She was wearing the latest collection sneakers that cost as much as someone's monthly salary. Her slender fingers, with a perfect manicure, flew across the screen. My Katie. Beautiful, smart, a little spoiled and very used to the world revolving around her. I adored her. After my husband died 5 years ago, she became the only meaning in my life.
Mom, what's taking so long? Are we done yet? Katie looked up at me, irritation in her eyes. We were supposed to hit the mall. You promised me that bag, remember?
I looked at her and tried to find at least something of myself in her features. But there was nothing. My hooked nose, my heavy eyelids, Katie had none of that. She looked like an angel from a picture, just a very cold angel. Katie, I need to stop by the office, I lied, feeling nausea rise in my throat. Take my card and go by yourself.
Work again? Whatever. She shrugged indifferently, snatched the card from my hand and walked toward the exit without even looking back.
The next month I lived as if in a fog. I hired a private investigator. Money opened any door, even the ones that had been nailed shut 20 years ago. Archives, lists of women who'd given birth, home addresses.
Here she is, the investigator said, dropping a folder onto my desk. Rachel and Walker, born the same day in the same hospital, 5 minutes apart. Her mother raised her alone. The father left before she was born. They live out in the suburbs, in an old 5-story building.
Inside the folder was a photograph of a girl. She was smiling, hugging a scruffy ginger cat. Her face, it was my face from 20 years ago. The same eyes, the same jawline. My heart started pounding so hard it hurt to breathe. I went there the next day. My black SUV looked like a spaceship in that courtyard. Peeling paint on the swings, old ladies on benches by the entrance, the smell of cheap cigarettes and damp concrete. I saw her by the entrance. Rachel was carrying 2 heavy grocery bags. She wore a simple windbreaker and old jeans. Rachel. I called out, not even knowing what I was going to say. She stopped and stared at the well-dressed woman in a cashmere coat.
Do we know each other? She asked. Her voice was pleasant, a little low.
Rachel, I need to talk to you. It's very important. It's about your birth. She frowned and set the bags down on the pavement.
Are you from some agency? If it's about the past due utilities, my mom will pay on Monday. They just delayed her paycheck at the clinic.
No, Rachel, I'm not from any agency. Can we sit down for a minute? We sat on a bench. I talked for a long time, stumbling over my words, showing her the clinic paperwork, the test results, the photos. Rachel listened in silence. She didn't cry, didn't freak out. She just kept looking at her hands, roughened from work, with little cuts and calluses.
So you're my real mother? She finally asked, looking me straight in the eye.
Yes, Rachel. Biologically, yes. And I want to fix everything. I want you to live the life you deserve. Look at this building, look at those bags. You don't have to struggle like this anymore. I took a small box out of my purse. Inside were the keys to an apartment I'd managed to buy in her name the week before. These are for you. Downtown, great renovation. And here, I handed her the latest iPhone, so we can always stay in touch. Rachel looked at the keys, then at the phone, then back at me. There was no excitement in her eyes. Only a strange kind of pity.
Eleanor Carter. That's your name, right? Do you really think you can replace a mom with an apartment?
No, of course not. I just want to make your life easier. You'll have everything, the best doctors, any clothes you want, trips abroad. You can quit that awful job at the store.
I work at a pharmacy, she corrected calmly. And I like helping people. And my mom, Marion Walker, she raised me. She sat up with me all night when I was sick. She sold her only gold necklace to buy me a dress for prom. We ate potatoes for months so I could keep going to my art classes.
But that wasn't the life you were supposed to have. I almost shouted. You were robbed of all this wealth because of a mistake.
Wealth. Rachel gave a sad little smile. You brought me keys to an apartment, but you didn't even ask what my favorite color is. You don't know I'm afraid of the dark or that I love dark chocolate. You don't see a person in me, just your biological property you think you can buy back.
Rachel, I just love you.
No, you don't love me. You don't even know me. You love the picture in your head. And I love my mom for being there. Even if her coat is old and her eyes are always tired.
She stood up and picked up her bags.
Thank you for the offer, but I don't need it. I already have a life. And there's no room in it for a swap.
Wait. I rushed after her. Rachel, think about it. I can get you into a university in London. I can land you a job at a top company. You do realize you'll never get anywhere if you stay in this rotten courtyard? She stopped right by the entrance door.
You know what your problem is? You think everything in this world has a price tag. Love, loyalty, memories. But it doesn't work that way. My mom is waiting for me right now with these groceries so we can cook dinner together. And that dinner is worth more to me than any of your fancy restaurants.
She went inside, and the heavy metal door slammed shut behind her. I stood in the courtyard, clutching the little box with the keys. Some woman in a bathrobe walked by and eyed me suspiciously. Somewhere up above, a dog started barking. I went back to my huge empty apartment. Katie was home. She was lying on the living room couch, surrounded by a mountain of shopping bags. The entire carpet was buried under logos from expensive boutiques.
Oh, hey, Mom. She tossed out without looking up from her compact mirror. Listen, I saw these earrings today. They are insane. Give me some more money, okay? I maxed out the card already.
I looked at her, the girl I'd raised for 20 years, indulging her every whim. She was the perfect product of my parenting. Spoiled, selfish, unfamiliar with the word no. There won't be any more money, Katie, I said quietly.
What do you mean? She finally put the mirror down and stared at me. Is this some kind of joke? I've got Lily's party tomorrow. I need something new to wear.
I mean exactly what I said. Go to the kitchen and make dinner. Yourself.
Me? Cook? Are you out of your mind? That's what the housekeeper is for. Mom, what is wrong with you today? You're acting weird.
I went into my bedroom and locked the door. I sat on the bed and just stared out the window at the city lights. I had everything. A huge bank account, real estate, a successful business. And at the same time I was completely bankrupt. I had a daughter who didn't know how to love, and I had a real daughter who wanted nothing to do with me. I thought about Rachel. The way she carried those heavy bags, the way she lifted her chin proudly. She had a strength I had never managed to give Katie. The strength of someone who knows the value not of things, but of feelings. I thought a lot about Marion, the woman who had raised my daughter. She had given her something money could never buy. She gave her a backbone. Character. A heart. And what had I given? I'd given Katie nothing but an unlimited credit line for her every desire. A few more months went by. I stopped trying to buy Rachel. Instead, I started helping the community clinic where Marion Walker worked. Anonymously. I paid for equipment, for medicine. Just to make that woman's life a little bit easier. Sometimes I would drive to that same courtyard. I'd just sit in the car and watch Rachel come out of the building, watch her laugh into her phone. I never went up to her. I understood that the only right I had was this, to watch from a distance. At first Katie raged when I cut her spending and made her start working as an assistant in my office. She cried, accused me of being cruel. But over time something new began to appear in her eyes. Some small understanding that the world was bigger than her whims. One evening we were sitting in the kitchen. Katie had fried potatoes all by herself for the first time. Of course they were burned, and the whole kitchen was full of smoke, but she had tried.
You know, Mom, she said, poking at her plate with a fork. I saw a woman at the office today. She was crying because she couldn't pay for some insurance. I gave her my cash. The money you gave me for lunch.
I looked at her and, for the first time in a long while, smiled. How did that feel?
Weird, she admitted. Like I'd eaten something really good for me. Think, I'm starting to get you.
I hugged her. My not biological, but still my daughter. Life is unfair and messy. Sometimes it takes away what should rightfully be ours and gives us what we're not ready for. I never became a mother to Rachel. But I realized that motherhood isn't about blood or genes. It's about how much warmth you're willing to give without asking for anything in return. I never sold the keys to that apartment. They're still in the safe. Maybe someday, years from now, Rachel will agree to stop by for tea. No gifts, no promises of London. Just tea. And then I'll finally ask her what her favorite color is.